About a month ago, the company behind ChatGPT suddenly dropped a massive neural bomb on the internet. They introduced the TikTok equivalent, where instead of regular clips, every video is AI generated, something anyone can create with just a single line of text, no harder than typing a Google search. This is SORA by OpenAI, a mutagenic meme factory, advanced generative AI released to the public completely free of charge. As a result, on the very first day of launch, the internet was drowned in a flood of surreal yet strangely realistic videos. Well, except for the scenes where people try to get into cars or get through doors. For some reason, that's still SORA's biggest challenge. Otherwise, the internet was literally overflowing with visualizations of wild ideas that previously existed only in imagination, sometimes slightly deranged ones.
And it smells like somebody plugged in a chicken. Let's give it a flip. I'm gonna carve it into some thick steaks. Look at that. Crust on the outside, pink and juicy in the middle. Cheers.
The SORA is already being called a revolution that democratizes creativity, flips the rules, and spreads chaos across the internet, where it's becoming impossible to tell what's real and what's not anymore. A toy for video memes or a full-on Hollywood studio in your pocket. Right now, SORA is available only by invite in the US and Canada. The app exists only for iPhones with local accounts, though there's also a web version. Getting an American IP and invite code isn't too hard if you know where to look. But beware, dozens of fake apps have already popped up on the App Store, and scammers have made hundreds of thousands of dollars from them. So just to be clear, do not download random stuff pretending to be SORA. At the very beginning, the SORA feed mostly looked like this. Repetitive videos of police stopping various animals driving cars, low-effort tap-twice engagement pages, endless clips of Jesus flipping a table, from anime style to pixel art, and tons of random videos featuring creators who registered and allowed their faces to be used. Through the iPhone app, you can even insert your own face. People have been handed a magic stick that can create any masterpiece in seconds, but once again, electricity is being burned for totally pointless content. Imagine an app filled entirely with AI-generated content. Brain rot can be fun, but an overdose is never a good thing. It's great that OpenAI decided to isolate this experiment from the rest of the internet with a separate app. Still, viral clips with SORA watermark inevitably escape their native platform. And of course, people are already erasing the watermark and passing this video off as a real, which is now fueling the imaginations of pranksters everywhere. Thanks to SORA, I developed a deep skepticism towards any video shorter than 10 seconds. Thousands of videos of cats that are being sucked into a tornado, Instagram posts with fake stories about super tech exoskeletons for cats, and scam videos of people asking for money to charity. It's unethical but viral. There are videos of resurrected Michael Jackson dancing as he steals chicken from KFC, and Stephen Hawking performing extreme stunts on giant rams. Ironically, 11 years ago Hawking himself called artificial intelligence humanity's greatest mistake, warning that humans, limited by slow biological evolution, wouldn't be able to compete. In SORA's early days, there was barely any censorship of using the likenesses of celebrities or copyrighted characters, and that definitely had the app spread like a wildfire. Now restrictions have been added, but within the first 24 hours, users had already made so much content that SORA could practically shut down now. It's worth focusing on the animation quality. If you don't look too closely, the AI delivers pretty solid visuals, especially in minimalist styles like South Park.
Wait, no! That person, right there! That person over there is not real!
Ma'am, come on, let's go.
You all can sit here if you want, but I'm telling you...
Okay, let's step off the plane.
There's even a pattern. The more episodes a show has, the better SORA recreates it, simply because there was more data for training. Who gave permission to train the model on all those shows? Probably no one, which is why restrictions are now being added. Some might think that this spells the end for animation studios, but honestly human animators will stick around for a while. AI only works well when it's trained on hundreds of hours of existing animation, which humans had to draw in the first place. And the longer the generated clip is, the harder it gets for the model to keep things consistent. Glitches start appearing. SORA is, after all, a simplified version of generative AI's full potential, released for the public with 10-second cap per video. Still, people are already trying to stitch short clips into full-length cartoons. The results speak for themselves. For now, these neural networks are only good for short parody trailers or concept demos. Speaking of which, my Reels feed is already flooded with the second great wave of Pixar-style videos and brain rot like The Incredible Gatsby, where the share count is always higher than the likes. People spam their friends' chats with this stuff, and many of these clips are, of course, made in SORA. People also conduct web executions of cringe content creators using this character. Meanwhile, in his blog, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has already hinted at interactive fanfics. He hopes that major studios will come to him not with lawsuits, but with open arms and official licenses for fan creations. Yeah, good luck with that, especially with Nintendo, who is just lost to its own fans' creations. Analysts are already whispering that if rights holders really decided to fine AI companies for using copyrighted data without permission, the whole industry would go bankrupt overnight. Even Altman himself admits that the current AI hype feels like a bubble, similar to the dot-com bubble of the late 90s and early 2000s, when internet startups with zero profit got millions in investments before collapsing like soap bubbles. But the AI bubble, if it exists, rests on a stronger foundation. Even if it bursts, AI won't vanish, just like the internet didn't disappear after the dot-com crash. So neural-generated videos are something we'll be living with, one way or another. While SORA keeps shaking up the internet, one thing's for sure, we truly stand on the threshold of a new era, where the line between reality and fantasy is vanishing at an alarming speed. AI is still just a tool, but it's changing the very nature of creativity itself. Anyone can now be a director, a screenwriter, and an artist, all without leaving the couch. Let's just hope that in this endless flood of AI slop, genuine human creativity doesn't get lost. The freedom to create masterpieces in seconds is mesmerizing, but let's at least try to preserve that spark of humanity that sets us apart from the machines. Alright, I'll admit, I did get hooked on SORA for a couple of nights, not on the feat itself but on its generative capabilities. This thing is a real dopamine trap. Normally creating something requires a script, filming and planning, but with SORA, almost any idea gets visualized in under a minute and gives you that instant hit of satisfaction.